Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my pleasure to host this panel of very distinguished guests. Um, Welcome back. The theme of the summit is Continuity Unbroken, and we've had a fair number of sessions yesterday and this morning where we spoke about resilience in terms of infrastructure, cyber, servers, data centers, and all of these had a common thread of AI running through it, artificial intelligence. But the most critical infrastructure we have is human intelligence. And with the theme of Continuity Unbroken, it's a challenge that we ask ourselves. Is the chain of knowledge transfer safe? So, the education and the academia is the place where we learn things, we learn how to build systems, we learn how to build artificial intelligence systems, and we are now at a place where we need to relook at how we develop human intelligence in this age of artificial intelligence. Dr. Sandhya, when we spoke about this session, you argued that an institution's role is much larger than just providing entry-level workers. It's much more than placements. In an age where information is free and AI is ubiquitous, how do you define relevance? What is the unique value a university provides today that a subscription to a ChatGPT or a Gemini won't?
It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, everybody, or rather good afternoon. Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and I think need of the hour. We produce more than knowledgeable workforce for the industry. We produce intelligent, empathetic, adaptable human beings that can face the future, whatever the future has to throw at them as best as they can, and also shape the future society. So I think the value of university education is more than a course you can learn online. Knowledge is just a part of what we do. The imparting of knowledge is what, is just a small part of what we do in a high-end university. I always say that people learn only 40% or less in a classroom. What they learn most is outside the classroom. When they interact with the students, other students, through peer learning, and when they interact with the professors, when they meet the industrialists that visit the campus, the scientists, and they collaborate with the society. Sometimes the society brings us problems to solve, and the students get real-life exposure to that kind of problem statements and being part of the solutions. So in short, we actually prepare our students by strengthening their brain muscles and making them adaptable. And we teach them how to learn continuously. And actually, there's a little more. This is all centered around learning, but the high-end universities also do a few more things. We do research and development. Research is the backbone of the country, especially in a society that is fast advancing technologically. We need to do a lot more in research. And we provide that research bandwidth to the country. And we also encourage entrepreneurship by providing entrepreneurship development cells, incubation cells, where students and others can try their ideas out, and they can get like-minded people, they can bring the like-minded people to come together and experiment in our labs and so on. So building capability is one of our things, and the other is research and development. And we are a field that collaborates with international and industry. So that is very powerful when we do those kind of, we are the bridges to the other countries in a manner of speaking. And I mentioned entrepreneurship, and we provide lot of services directly and indirectly to the surrounding communities. We understand the rural areas better. We understand the urban areas better. We look into problems that rural areas are facing and the challenges that urban areas would be facing in the future. So we're always looking out for solutions for the future society. Thank you.
Thank you. What you said resonated with me particularly around two things. One was around during the pandemic, when children couldn't go to school or students couldn't go to universities for about a year and a half. There was definitely the sense that they had lost out on something. They had lost out on the personal connections, the social connections, the networking, and just the ability to face the real world head on. And that contrasts with very recent incidents of children taking on AI chatbots as their friends, guides and counselors, right? So that's certainly a very important aspect of it. Mr. Jagdish, would you like to add to what a university does for children and students?
Yeah, good afternoon. I want to take a little bit step back than what she said. And I come from a background where, as a part of Azim Premji Foundation, I worked in the schools in terms of looking at how children are getting trained, what is the curriculum, and then for the last 2.5 years, I've been engaging with colleges on how do they prepare the student for the digital age. What is the leadership quality for a digital age? So my inputs that I'm giving is based on my ground level experience of talking to these children. And I also tell you the difference between currently what we have in India versus what you see, let's say in the US or somewhere else, in terms of how we develop the capability of a student. So for us today, unfortunately, we are still very focused on getting the certificate, that is a degree. I mean, we just spoke in the previous panel about 27,000 as a certificate versus 27,000 as an intent for doing something good. I think we have, over the period of last 25, 30 years, while the universities have done a lot of things to improve many things, but broadly the way we educate children have degraded. And I'm saying this with the following examples. When I wrote my IIT exam, it was not about able to go into a coaching class and somehow crack the exam. It used to be your ability to apply what you learned in the school and colleges to solve a practical problem. And that's what today we hear everybody talking about. The future skills is going to be critical thinking. Is the student able to use whatever he or she learns in the schools and colleges to solve real life problem for the society, real life problem for the industry, real life problem for the home? From at that angle, I think we have miserably failed. Now it's the time for us to wake up, because our rote learning that we do today of basically measuring student success based on the marks that they get, that era is over. Okay? Now is the era where we need to really focus on how do we make these children from educated, certified children to skillful. How do you bring skill? Skill is about using your knowledge to solve a problem. So first is we have to focus a lot on skilling from schools. I mean, university, I would say still late, But having said that, AI now is going to exist and it's not going to go away. The good part we are now seeing is we are all the education institutions are trying to adopt and give students the ability to use AI. But it's not going to help them to score the marks, because that examination of you giving a question and getting answer, that is all now being done by AI. So what I see is now morph into critical thinking, where you actually give students the ability to solve problems using AI as a tool. That's why this is not artificial intelligence. We call it as augmented intelligence. It can never become the intelligence. You know, you don't want AI to become the ultimate intelligence, because then what are we for? So, you know, the AI has to be used in such a way that it takes away the mundane work of, you know, looking at, memorizing and answering, versus how do I use it as my co-panelist or a helper to do my job better. And that is where the universities have to start focusing on how do I make these children use the AI as something to enhance their ability to ask the right questions. It's not about anymore answers are given by AI. The ability to ask the right questions, the ability to ask the question that solves problem, the ability to know that in all of the super success of AI, ethics, and this is what I tell the leadership, digital future leadership is all about being ethical, use of AI. And second is very, very important aspect of AI is, don't use it without human judgment. And that's why human in the loop is so important, right? So I would say universities are starting, a long way to go, but how do students correlate, live with AI to use problems? And that is where the universities and schools have to come, rather than saying, I'll teach you what is science. I think science is getting taught today in AI. How do you use that science or the maths or the geography you are now learning to solve a problem is where the universities have to go, in my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Jagdish. Dr. Ashwin, you are in a unique position in this panel, and as you are aware, when we were discussing the questions that we will do in this panel early on, we started off saying there is a junior recruitment crisis, in the sense that if AI replaces junior jobs, then where will seniors come from 10 years from now, right? So I wanted, and this was something that Venki spoke about in the morning in his fireside chat with John Xavier as well. So let's go a little deeper into this. What happens when the ladder is missing the bottom rungs?
I think it's a trick question. It cannot exist. I feel whenever I talk to people who say jobs will, there's so many people who are taking people into the roles for which people join have changed. The roles for which, who's going to train the AI models? Who's going to write the AI models? Who is going to, the foundation? Do you all know what is the fundamental language on which AI exists? The fundamental language is still Python. So who's I lead the learning and development, and I lead the AI Academy for Virtusa. The foundation is what the university gives, and that's not going to go away. Yes, the volumes will come down. This is a cycle. It has to come down and go up. We are not good. Okay, we all, I think, I can see I am 50 plus, and I've seen the Y2K world. So people thought engineers can do only Y2K, right? Some years back. But after that, we transformed ourselves to the digital revolution. We will also transform to the AI world. Jobs are not going anywhere. It's just, you have to turn on as Sir said, the critical thinking. The mass hiring will go. The mass hiring will not happen. There will be value hiring. And that is where I see universities, and when ma'am talked about it, right? I can relate it, sorry, maybe I'm deviating, but I can relate it to see, there are scales of universities where I've seen what ma'am talked about, that culture of social inclusivity, critical thinking, project-based approach. But we have to ask a frank question. Does all the colleges, universities do that? That's the point. And if certain universities, certain colleges do that, and we can see the difference when they come into our universities. So that is where universities have to rethink. There will be a lot of consolidations in universities. We all know that, right? There will be people who are not doing it coming in. So I've talked a lot, but the question is, mass hiring will go down. Hiring will never go down, because this is, the pyramid has to exist, right? You have to get people injected and move there. And to add to your first question, right, just one more point. The 4-year, I had a huge, when ma'am was talking, I had a huge argument with one of my cousins who migrated from the US. He migrated from here. He said, what is this degree all about? There is micro learning. You can get a certificate and get, guys, that might solve one project issue. That might solve a month of issue. That might solve, you can get into somebody to solve one problem, one bug. What a foundation degree gives you is thinking, is about solving the problem, is about taking it to the future. See, I am an electronics and communication engineer. I am an electronics and communication. I have never used electronics in my 27 years of career. I have never used electronics and communication. But is that what? It taught me so much to look into intricate details which I can't look and feel. Today, AI also you can't look and feel. It is happening in the background. Like that, electronics also used to happen in the background. But it gave me that insight. So that's what, so degrees are not going to go away, but universities have to think, how can there are universities which are at that level. How can we replicate it? That's what is going to happen. It's not going to go away. And last point, AI will never replace a human. People who do not know AI will be replaced by people who know AI. That's all. So there is nothing like humans are going to go away. Humans who do not know AI will be replaced by humans who know AI and use AI. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Ashwin. Before I jump to Mr. Kumar Swamy, I saw Mr. Jagdish pick up the mic. Please.
I wanted to add to what Ashwin was saying, and it's very interesting that observations that he made, right? So the problem is not losing jobs. And problem, I completely agree that people with AI will replace the people without AI. So we have to come with the reality that, the days when we used to tell tables, 1 table, 2 table, took pride in saying, I can say tables up to 12 into 15. Who cares? Today, you have a calculator. We all migrated. I think this is an age of migrating to, don't expect the student basically to say, do you know coding? That they have to learn. But they don't need to become masters in coding, but they need to know masters in how do you decode what the AI engine is writing. So this skill is very difficult. Writing a code and getting it verified with your supervisor was the norm in which people used to stay for 3-4 years relevant because you just code. That 3-4 years of relevance is now gone because I think the AI is going to do it. So you have to, in the universities, is a must that you add in the curriculum. Don't remove the coding. Python coding is very important. And what he said, the basics will still remain Python coding. So you need experts who know the Python coding. You need experts who are able to decode the output from the AI, because at some point in time, you don't want to get into a society where fundamental knowledge is just given off to AI and we depend on a set of knowledge which is our own previous knowledge, right? So it is extremely difficult for universities. It's not an easy job, but they have no choice but to migrate to making students read the complex theories, understand, because AI doesn't understand that. Plus, say now having understood the theory, understood the concept, how can I now use AI to solve a problem faster? How can I do my same problem solving more efficiently? So the jobs will evolve like that, which is going to basically, on the day one, you don't need a finishing school to learn coding and talking. You need somebody who says, okay, I'm ready to solve a problem from day one. That migration is should happen, and a lot of that goes back to two very critical aspects. One is the faculty readiness, other one is the syllabus itself. Are we working at a national level?
We'll come to that for the next theme. Mr. Kumar Swamy, you've done a lot of research around AI and particularly its impact on education and learning. So I'd like you to dive into this question and also segue into the next theme, which is can India compete in the global AI race? We have the volume of talent, but do we have the quality? How can universities and industry collaborate so that India is not a back office but a creator?
Is it audible? Yeah. Good afternoon, and thanks for having me here. I have the unique experience of having been in the industry for nearly 38 years before I switched sides to academics. First of all, I think this chair should have been given to a 22-year-old, not to a geriatric or bariatric at 65 years old. They have a unique vision, and they are going to be living the future, and they are the people who are entitled to participate in this kind of meetings, in my opinion. I'll just take a minute to answer the previous question in a rhetorical kind of way. Today is, I think, G.R. Vishwanath's 77th birthday. With what experience did he play and play the Kanpur test? With just 4 Ranji Trophy matches. After that, somebody spotted him and, straight away kick-started into test cricket. Or Mushtaq Mohammed, at the age of 15, he was facing Wes Hall, the fastest bowler then. I think we have to get out of this mindset of, only experience step by step to, there. What do IAS officers do? There are Jaishankar, I think, joined the IAS at 22 years old, I think. What did he know about foreign service? But he is doing a fantastic job, and the feedback from many of the foreign service guys is great about him. So I think the way to go about it is, whatever be the time you spend, elapsed time in coding, that has to be crushed. Let him be given a flavor of what coding is all about, and let him be kick-started to hire. If you are used to seeing seniors and general managers only at 45 and 50, perish the thought, please see general managers at the age of 25 year after in SBI. That's the way I think we should go. We cannot be driving bullock carts and hoping to arrive from here to Marina Beach in 1 hour. We need cars, we need to graduate our skills, etc. But the other thing is what kind of opportunity that India, this one. I think the negative connotation of loss of jobs, I think, is really overdone. I think Niti Aayog has estimated in a do-nothing kind of scenario, about 1.5 million jobs will be lost, primarily at the coding and base level. But look at the opportunity. They are projecting $1.5 trillion worth of opportunity by 2030. Addressable Indian market. If you're talking about addressable world market, is $75 trillion. We can't generate 1.5 million jobs. Government should be fixing 15 million as a minimum jobs that I require out of this, milieu. We are operating on this platform. The whole world is changing and going to this platform somewhere else. This graduation itself creates humongous amount of jobs. On top of it, you'll go and sit there, where we are placed in beneficial position in multiple number of ways. Today, adoption of AI, I think we are the second, I think, with 14% adoption. But look at the specific AI agents. ChatGPT, number 2. Perplexity, number 1. And, very many other videos, etc. We are number 1. We have the market. We have the talent. Government has assured in the recent either budget or economic survey that projected AI is very, very heavily energy, energy intensive. They have assured that by 2030 we will be energy surplus even after considering the AI demand. Government has, promised that portion. Government has also got an incentive. What else are you looking for? We are perfectly placed to, exploit these opportunities. On the same front, I should express my deep disappointment with the industry leaders in IT, the Infosys and Wipros and TCS. In fact, sitting in this very chair 2 days back, Mr. Gopal Srinivasan was saying, instead of spending 72,000 crores in exploiting these opportunities which are emerging, they have returned nearly 72,000 crores as share buyback. Isn't it, very, very paradoxical? They should be investing this money to create capabilities for graduating to the future. That's what they should be doing. I'll just give an example which will perhaps appeal to the VIT students. Today, if you want to get your publication ready, this one, for checking grammar and spell check, what word gives is very perfunctory. The Grammarly or Quillbot, etc. They take nearly 16 to 18,000 rupees per 10-page paper. Or if you are using specialized Wiley kind of thing, which also suggests a very good amount of language changes, 54,000 rupees. Isn't it a great opportunity for all our English professors? Or even somebody who's doing even chemistry should quit his chemistry profession and take on to this, that kind of stuff. In my opinion, AI is a great game changer. It can be what manufacturing did to South Korea, Japan, and China to India. We should seize this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Kumaraswamy. Dr. Ashwin, on our ability to become a global player in the AI space.
I'll just take two parts to my answer. What is the foundation of AI? With respect to, if you think about it, right? Data is the biggest foundation for AI. And which country has the biggest amount of people, data, the complexity of our spread of languages? This is the place. And this is where engineering, see, I've traveled to places, China, the other countries, which we always keep saying that's a threat from software engineering. I still don't consider any country equal to the, we keep talking about H1 visas, this thing, nothing will happen. We can keep talking on paper, but nothing will happen to the Indians. Without Indians, this thing won't run. The Silicon Valley won't run. So I would say India is placed in a position of strength. Fundamentally because of the volume, we have got the engine ready. We have got the engine of volume to be created. Now that volume has to be tweaked to add value at a mass level. Again, I go back to my first. There are certain fantastic universities who do a job of getting, I won't say industry ready. They don't have to make them industry ready. You don't have to make, I don't believe in that concept of industry readiness. Industry will make them ready. You make them ready from what is the foundation, what is that, if they are data science, ML, can they talk data science? Can they be maths specialist? Make them that. That's and our sheer volume and our sheer democratic strength has already made it. See, we keep talking, I do not want to talk about this. See, look at GPay. You know how good, I don't know how many of you know, GPay is talked well across the world, right? With so much of transaction. Even a flower vendor, anywhere we go, GPay works. It's as simple as that. Now you think GPay is, so this, and look at how we handled COVID's, many countries replicate. So we are well placed. We are in the position of strength with our sheer volume. Then we can't rest back that we will ride the wave of the services industry. AI is a different world. The skill set are going to be different. We just have to tweak. And I think this government, along with any other, are placed. Gone are those days where we are going to say, we all have to agree that we missed the manufacturing big era, right? The big one we missed. We didn't miss the IT era. We created it. I don't think we are. I strongly believe we are not going to miss the AI era. We are the AI era, if you want to call me. That's what I think.
Over the last 20 minutes or so, we've skirted around one thing, which is we've been speaking about two things. We spoke about curriculum a little bit. Multiple times we made the mention of critical thinking and judgment. So we say we need human intelligence for those things. That's a little bit abstract. Let's get specific. How would universities teach crisis decision making? You can't learn pressure from a textbook. Dr. Sandhya?
Absolutely. I think what we do is also teach problem-solving skills, because we give students a lot of problems, and we also allow them to choose problems, and we invite industries to give problems for which the students offer solutions. We also have hackathons and things like that, and there is a lot of pressure in such things, So there is limited time. there's a set of, there's a context that is set and a problem that's thrown at the students. And if that is not creating the pressure and stress that they can live up to or get trained in, I don't know what else is. But that said, there are, beyond hackathons, there are other things also, such as projects that they can take home, they can discuss with their peers, they can even go to the society to see how things are happening and what is the ground reality, and suggest solutions, etc. So the deadlines are a reality for students as they are for the professionals.
True. But that kind of opens up another question, which is around, particularly around education in AI, as in teaching AI. So universities, I'm assuming, update their curricula every 4 or 5 years, and
More rapid than that.
these days, okay. But AI is, we are talking about weeks. We are talking about something that we couldn't do with a model a month back, suddenly getting done very well now. So two questions there. One is, how do you intend to bridge that gap, whatever the gap might be? And is there also a new business model that could come into place where, you know, you could buy a subscription to a university degree?
Okay, I think I'll answer from the beginning. So we talked about curriculum. You know, how can curriculum be agile? First of all, the curriculum has to be agile. But we really need to talk about curriculum and pedagogy. Curriculum should never be set such that it goes down to the lowest detail. Curriculum has to be at a very high level so that the faculty that is handling the curriculum can fill in the details that are relevant to today. And they can also devise the pedagogy that is more suitable. And in that pedagogy comes all these things like problem solving, critical thinking, using AI, you know, augmenting AI. Basically, we are not avoiding AI. We are encouraging our students to use AI, but AI as a co-pilot, right? We don't want our students to delegate their responsibility to AI. We don't want cut and paste of prompts and cut and paste of solutions. We want them to use their thinking. But getting back to the question, so curriculum can evolve as rapidly as, say, 6 months. And I understand you totally well, or not all universities are the same. Some are setting benchmarks, others are following, and some others are failing to follow. But I will just talk about the model universities because I think that's the best case scenario. We evolve curriculum very rapidly. So we change curriculum as rapidly as 6 months. Now 6 months may seem long too. So that is why I'm saying that we have to set curriculum at a very high level and let the faculty evolve the meat content of it. And the pedagogy is the one that makes sure how you incorporate the day-to-day happenings or the latest technologies and so on. We look beyond tools. Foundation skills don't go away. Foundation skills stay the same. It was early in 90s when I learned operating systems, computer architecture, AI. What the heck? Yes, AI. And DBMS and so many other things. And I think those skills are just as relevant today as they were that day. In fact, the need of the hour is the foundation skills. So the coding skills are not the ones that we need. When you think of an engineer, please do not see a programmer. An engineer is much more than a programmer. An engineer solves your day-to-day problems. An engineer solves future problems. An engineer makes changes. And it's not just about engineers, but it's about technologists and even, liberal arts people. So could you just prompt me a little more about the
I-
current context? I think I just
I asked the
went on a
question
tangent.
around should a university degree become a subscription
Okay.
product?
I don't think that it should become a subscription thing, but a university degree, the content keeps evolving. So I think where we are in terms of the 4-year degree, we are comfortable, but how we do things, in fact, we have been evolving, we never stopped evolving. How we do things keeps changing and will keep on changing. You know, it's not just coping with change, but it is making change. It is building the future as a utopian future, if you will.
Mr. Jagdish?
I just want to add to all that she said. I think there are a lot of universities who are doing a brilliant job today in trying to do students prepare for the AI world. But we talked about, see, it's not about one institution like a university. We don't, in India, we lack the ecosystem. And he mentioned a lot about why the industries are not really having the patience to say, okay, this country is going to lead the AI race. It cannot be led by universities. It cannot be led by the IT services company. It has to be led by the government and also all the corporates. And where we lack today is the will to experiment and stay on for 1 or 2 years or 3 years without success. See, there is no magic in making AI work for solving a problem until you develop, a mass of movement where the ecosystem starts to work by itself. And developing an ecosystem is where we struggle compared to the Western countries because of their past. Okay, so when university students are brilliant, I work with a lot of university students. If you look at many institutions like SINE in Mumbai, IIT, all of them have done a lot of collaboration with industry, trying to get the students an opportunity to solve real-life problem. But unfortunately, it falls through the crack on the industry side, never on the academic side. I've seen it. So, to help these institutions build a resilience and create those kind of students, I think industry, all of you represent industry, I think you'll understand that industries play a very vital role in developing the ecosystem and having patience in making sure that we reach that level where world starts to look at us for what we have done for ourselves, not what we have done for others. It's not about AI services. It is about creating AI-based products. Our economy, unfortunately, is very service-oriented in the software and AI side. It's time we think about making AI as a product economy rather than a service economy, because that's not where you create IPs. You create IPs in a product environment, and a lot of industry and academics, if we collaborate in a big way, this can happen, for sure.
Thank you. Sure.
So, not to answer your question directly, but to speak to the panel on what they've been saying so far, I agree with them, and I also want to point out that there is a huge opportunity for a good collaboration between government and top universities, R&Ds. One thing that I'm itching to do is develop a model and run to see what will be the real impact of job losses. There are going to be job losses. Let's be realistic about that. The job roles are going to change. So the new technologies will create new jobs. But in the interim, there is going to be a job loss, and several segments are going to be affected. But how are they going to be affected, and what we can do to tide over that, to make that, not too much of a rough landing, if you will. That kind of dialogue need to happen among the government, institutions, and industry, so that we can actually not just go with the flow, but we can proactively take measures to make, to avoid recession, for instance.
Dr. Ashwin.
Yeah, I think that if given to me, we should never let down the school education and the 4-year degree education. This is my, I've seen a lot of freshers come into that. This is the value that we bring in, and that's a differentiator when the market sees Indians, they look at our 12 years of education, the 4 years of degree, they definitely has a value. So given to me, I will never touch that. But then the universities, some of the universities have already done it, right? They also go into the capsule-based certification, skill-wise modules where people can subscribe to it. Even the experienced people can subscribe to it. I myself have subscribed in IIT one course. So those are add-ons. When we talk about add-ons, don't lose your base. That's add-ons. Keep add-ons as add-ons. Get this. So never. I get worried when people say, let's disturb it. Let's have a subscription model. All that is good when you have an engineer in place. Don't do it for building an engineer.
Mr. Kumaraswamy, just to take a quick pivot on whatever we've been discussing, a lot of our focus has been on STEM, science, technology, engineering, management, math or management. Is it time for the liberal arts to make a comeback? Does having a degree in ethics or philosophy or history equip somebody to be more versatile in the era to come?
Let's just go back to what they were discussing in a quick this one. I do believe the interaction between industry and academics and institutions and of course government has to increase significantly in India. In fact, I believe that at least I've seen 3 generations, that is the virtual reality, manufacturing 4.0, AI, etc., being implemented by us in our company itself, at least 10 years ahead of when the institutions and even the newspapers started discussing it. In fact, our paper machine, which was the largest in the third world, was located in South Odisha, the 3rd poorest district in India, with the latest technology from Germany, with all the features of AI you are talking about, the specific purpose, this one of, and that and the TNPL machine here in Sandhya, Salem, Karur, for that size, are the world leaders in terms of efficiency in many parameters. So AI has been there for much longer than what, only last 2 years has been making noise in the academics and other areas. So I think, secondly, I think we should not be too defensive about these 4-year courses. I am fully with you. In fact, I met Mrs. Renu Qatar, who is the chairman of the equivalent of UGC in US, that is Academy of Education, Academy of Education or something. She had just taken over. At that time, she was talking about a virtual university kind of concept. The best talent to teach biochemistry maybe in Brisbane. And he will only teach. He will not even, set the question paper. The question papers may be set by somebody in Netherlands. It may be evaluated by somebody in Argentina, because they are specialists in those fields. And Harvard University will give you the degree, that kind of stuff, I think we have to slowly graduate to that kind of, something which is not place constant. Universities with brick and mortar. This one, she was almost talking of collapse of brick and mortar as her aim. In the next 10 years, she was going to be the chair. Anyway, so sorry, I forgot your question, yeah.
The return of the liberal arts.
No, actually, if you are using, you just give ChatGPT the main constructs or main thoughts about even the kind of poems that you want to write. It will write a very good poem. I don't think that liberal arts people are going to escape this trend. It's just that they also will have to learn the tricks of the trade to survive as well as do better. And quite often, what makes you believe that Vermeer was the greatest painter? You ask somebody else to replicate his painting. Maybe they will do it much better than Vermeer or Michelangelo or somebody, whatever paintings. I don't think it's a question of escaping anything. It has its own advantages, and no field is going to be exempt from it. But having said that, AI is in a very, very preliminary stage, in my opinion. Much development has to take place, and of course, the energy question also has to be, addressed. I don't think it can be consuming the kind of humongous amount of energy it is consuming. Just to, let's say, I'm just giving a very offbeat example. I have to form a sentence, I am going somewhere. I type and going to recall, it has to have 1 billion parameters, in floor to find out what I'm saying, whether it is going or gone to or gone or whatever. So consumes humongous amount of energy which has to be addressed, and that is also an opportunity for chip design for India, in my opinion. I don't know whether it answered the question, but everybody has to be on the alert.
Mr. Jagdish, what's your thoughts on liberal arts as a foundation for the ability to be more versatile in working with AI?
In fact, I'll just tell you, there is now, I'll answer the question a little indirectly on how the universities are encouraging students. See, liberal arts, there are two things. One, people who have really been doing a lot of work, all the knowledge has been, they believe has been stolen, right? In one shot, and it's now available to millions of people at a click of a button. That is a very sad part, right? So we need to really look at how do you make these people, creative people, feel that this is not going to take away their capability, or this is not going to take away their uniqueness. I'm not even talking about earning power, okay? Number one. Number two, a lot of students today, if you take, I can bet universities, if you take, in our time, it was STEM was the focus. Today it's not. And the good part is, it is still very alive. And there is one portal which basically now says, as a student, everything about you, your branding, is not about whether you're a science graduate or a maths graduate. It is about what else do you know? Do you know music? Do you know arts? Do you know painting? And there is an analytics that is going on among the data that is available in terms of, is a person with engineering and a skill to music, is he a better person to do the particular job? So there is already an analytics happening in terms of creating an engine of learning liberal arts. I don't think that is going to go. It's only going to increase. The involvement of people is going to increase because anyway they are giving up on STEM with AI coming in. So I will see a lot of students taking that route. Plus today the opportunity is there for you to exhibit and make money in all the professions. You know, that's a big, big advantage of this generation. I don't think it's going to die away.
And with that, our time's up. I'm happy to throw the floor open to questions.
Hello, I'm Shubha Varadarajan. I am an academician for past 20 years. I'm also a parent of an IITian. Actually, my son has completed his IIT Madras and he's doing his PhD in Eindhoven University, Netherlands. Actually, my question is, having heard all the comments from the panelists, how many of the corporates or the colleges doesn't give importance to entrance exams? Because you talk about the foundation, critical thinking, AI, and so many other things, but I don't think so. The school or the colleges give more importance to this, because if any colleges, the best colleges I have to go, I have to, whether I'm interested in the physics or chemistry or mathematics, even I'm interested in computer science, I have to study maths, physics, chemistry for sure, actually, to make sure that I have to get into the top universities, actually, right? So secondly, even the schools gives more importance to students who scores very well, actually, right? They give importance to the scores.
Ma'am, sorry, we'll just hold to the first question.
Right, that's it. That's my question about it.
If I understood your question, see, the most important skill today we are missing in the AI world from our thing is maths. See, maths is a foundation for AI, right? You create those models. And when you don't want to just use AI, you want to create models. Maths is a very important feature. I believe our educational system is one of the best in the world. I don't think we should, and nobody's, we can make it more practical, and that can always be an innovative thing, and we have gone through that stage. But if I understand, is it going to stay? It's definitely going to stay. And even if you look at our customer base, right, they come to us because we have such a big scrutiny on a person who has to come to that level of an IIT or any college, right, has to have the fundamentals. So I don't think it's going to go away. It should not go away.
Very quickly, just my 2 cents. It's a filtering mechanism. As long as we are able to scale how the filtering can be done, perhaps even using AI, maybe then tests will go. But as of now, I think the reality is that it's a filtering mechanism, and that's how it's going to work. Navneet.
So my question is, in the midterm future, would transitioning from what you studied versus what you do change significantly? So for instance, would somebody from a liberal arts background, following your question, would he be able to transition to science, for instance, easier than now? And would that allow companies to build a far more diverse workplace than the workplace is today?
I think now, more importantly than ever before, the interdisciplinary collaboration, interdisciplinary education and research is very important these days. Yeah, would somebody who studied science be a player in engineering, or somebody who studied engineering be a player in healthcare? Very much possible, especially because of AI. Anyone who is augmenting AI into their regular work their output will be far superior than the one that is not doing the AI augmentation. So I appeal to everybody to be AI savvy, AI aware, and use that. And I think, yes, it's absolutely possible, but that we need to encourage interdisciplinary work, which we are actually doing in our university. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is happening, okay? Started to happen in India. It's about somebody taking a bet. You know, we are so, okay, he's an engineer, so he should be good. See, that we have to get out of that mindset. Look at the person, don't look at the degree, right? He said 27 years he has never used electronics. Same with me. So it's not about, the degree gives you the grounding, very important for you to have a theoretical knowledge. But beyond that, I think the organizations have to give opportunities for people to, even somebody is not an engineer, I see a lot of CEOs today are BAs and BComs. You will not find them in India, but go abroad. You will see people from any field taking that opportunity. It is possible, and they will probably be more successful than an engineering CEO. The other way is difficult. For an engineer to shift to liberal arts is very difficult. But a liberal arts person to come and do engineering and become a CEO, to me, is a lot easier.
Just a quick, I learned something from my daughter who's doing a second year MBBS in Ramachandra. She was telling there are opportunities to learn AI, and there's a field developing, right? Where there are specialists, you can become an MBBS degree, so you're a doctor, and you know what the human body is all about. But you also learn AI. So there is a field which is coming up. And then there is a hospital management, which MBA goes into the picture, right? So there are a lot of things that are happening. It was this thing to me, but it's happening.
And with that, thank you so much for a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much.